Hello everyone, this is Donna from Even the Scales. Thank you if you've clicked on my video today. I'm on my channel right now to appeal for urgent help from the severe torture and abuse that I'm being put through in my home. For around 3.5 hours, if not longer, I've been put through extremely cruel, torturous abuse in my home where I pay rent and I'm a good tenant. This is happening to me because StGeorge Community Housing are paying the neighbours that are joined to my unit to put me through this abuse. And let me tell you, StGeorge Community Housing chose some real low lives to do this. And that's actually very obvious because it would take a very special kind of cruel, sadistic person to do what these people are doing right now. Even as I sit here creating this video, the neighbour next door is breathing cigarette smoke into my home. This is how cruel these people are. And StGeorge Community Housing is in so much trouble right now because of what they've done here. I don't think they've got anything to lose. So they're basically trying to force my death. And if they think that's going to happen, they must also be delusional because I'm definitely not giving up on my life. No way. That's why I created this channel, to make people aware of what StGeorge Community Housing is doing. They're doing this because it's all a part of a cover-up that's been orchestrated by the justice system here in New South Wales and the health system. These three neighbours that are joined to my home, they're being paid to abuse. They're professional abusers. They're all extremely cruel and relentless. These people are ruthless. I mean, I have been pleading. There's been times when I have been pleading in my home for these people to stop putting me through this torture, and they don't stop. They do it more. They do. And that's how smug they are. And because I'm saying they're smug on these videos, they're being even more smug by breathing the cigarette smoke through while I'm making this video to protect myself. These people, when they are caught, they are going to be going to jail for the rest of their life. They are viewing me illegally in my home on illegal cameras that StGeorge Community Housing has placed there. And I have to go through all this again because this might be the first time someone's clicked on my video. And this channel is my only protection because the Campbelltown police are involved in this. That's why I can't call the police. They're involved. It's happening because of them and their injustices that they've caused. My family is also involved. They're watching on the illegal camera as well. They've stolen an inheritance from me, and they've also been paid from the justice system. They've given the justice system a lot of information about my life so that this abuse can be carried out. And they took money for that. So yeah, these people are viewing into my home illegally on cameras. There's a camera in my bedroom. I know that. That's how far this landlord has gone. And hopefully there's not one in my bathroom. But, you know, I have to use my bathroom. I have to. So I've just got to hope and pray that there's not a camera in there. But I would not put nothing past this landlord because this landlord has gone to absolute extremes to do this. These people all know they're caught and they're desperate right now. Absolutely desperate. They stalk me so aggressively. They watch my every single move. So they're stalking illegally. They're watching me in my home illegally, invading my privacy. They're viewing my devices illegally. They're polluting my air with toxins deliberately. They're doing this to try and take my life. They're doing it because they know I have extreme PTSD, and that I have a fast heartbeat, and that I'm so traumatized by them tampering with my air that I have panic attacks every time they do this. So they're deliberately provoking me several times a day. The landlord's telling them to do this. And they're doing that to deliberately try and induce a heart attack to happen. And you go back on my channel, some of these people have done this hundreds of times. They've attempted murder on my life hundreds of times. They're panicking right now because they know how much they've done. And they're just trying to force my death. They're trying to force it to happen by just constantly abusing me and putting me through trauma. So they're also watching my devices illegally. They track my car, my vehicle, so that when I'm on my way home from places, they can know how far away I am, and they will set stuff up to happen when I drive my car here and park my car, because they know how long I'm going to be. I don't know. Someone could even come into my house when I'm not here. I mean, this is the landlord that's doing this. The landlord has keys. So I've got to worry every time I go out. I don't know what they're doing. There's evidence in this house too that this landlord would want destroyed. So every time before I leave my house, I have to create a short video just to say that everything's been turned off and there's nothing burning, just in case they get any ideas on burning the house down. The way I have to live my life is just, it's so wrong. I'm just constantly having to protect myself, constantly having to fight for my life. And that's what they're trying to do. So these neighbours, they have made it their life to stalk me. They do nothing else. There's 3 of them that are joined to my property, and they all have the ability to tamper with the air in my house. And they've been doing this for the past 3.5 hours straight, putting me through extreme torture. They've also been doing it for 9 months, tampering with my air. This woman downstairs, she stalks me aggressively. I mean, if I so much as go to another room, this woman carries out abuse based on my movements. And she's dedicated. I mean, this woman has dedicated her entire life to stalking me, to cause me harm, to try and take my life. They're not only trying to cause a heart attack, this woman attacks my air of a night with dust that falls down out of the roof. And there's a lot of it. And she does this every day. She's doing this through the night as I sleep, trying to cause me breathing problems. So they don't care how I go through an ending in my life. They're just trying to cause several things, and they don't care which one it is. I mean, they're trying to cause me to panic, to try and cause a heart attack or a stroke. They're trying to affect my air so that I have breathing problems. They're trying to provoke me in a way where it looks like I'm crazy so that I have a emotional outburst and I look like I'm having a mental health breakdown. They don't care which one, but they're trying to cause any of those things to happen. And they're trying to affect my life in other ways as well, where, like, I have a disability, I have a pain condition, and I've also had a stroke, but I haven't been told about that properly from the health department because they're holding back information about my health in the hope that my conditions get worse. I also have a fast heartbeat that should be treated, but they've been holding back information about that from me deliberately. I've been manipulated, put through a lot of manipulation from doctors and different people in the health system. They actually implanted a device in my body around April, May it was. I went and had a procedure done at the Campbelltown Public Hospital, and they implanted a device in my body that monitors my vital signs so that the people that are putting me through this abuse can watch my vital signs. They know before I even move when I wake up in the morning, so they can start carrying out abuse as soon as I go from sleeping to waking up. And they know when my heart picks up and starts going faster. This is how these groups are working together. So if one neighbour sees my heart pick up, they will start carrying out abuse to try and, cause me the most fear that they possibly can, just to try and make my heart beat out of control to the point where it causes me a sudden health episode. So this is how they're working together to do this. And yeah, these people have dedicated their lives to this. All of them have. It's all they do. All they do all day long is stalk me, watch me on these cameras, and they carry out abuse by turning their range hoods on and off. This one downstairs, she's attacking my air with this dust. And the dust is fibres of the insulation that's falling down out of the roof. So she does that. It covers my entire home. I have to clean it up every day. I have to, because otherwise it's a hazard. It's a breathing, it's a risk to my breathing, to be breathing this stuff in. So I've got to clean it up every day. But then I've got to be put through the humiliation and, that degrading treatment of having people watching into my home as I clean that mess up. There's also people viewing into my home on these illegal cameras that are paying to view into my home, to watch me go through cruelty. And the landlord, StGeorge Community Housing, it has got some kind of racket going where they're taking money from people to do that. I'm probably not the only person that has cameras in their house. And this landlord is sitting back, trying to force my death, telling these 3 neighbours when to abuse me, what to do, and they're just doing whatever he says. They're being used like puppets. These are people that will do anything for money. They're also people that are very much capable of taking a life, and they've proved that. They've proved that over and over again. This woman downstairs, she's trying to force my death. She's trying to force my death every day, and she has done for 19 months. The abuse from her got worse 9 months ago, but for 19 months, this woman has stalked me and been carrying out abuse every day in one way or another. Then there's the neighbour that lives diagonally to me. He's a known peeping Tom pervert in the area. All of these people must have mental disturbances going on. I mean, you can tell they enjoy what they're doing. You can tell they do. And to be able to sit there and do this to an innocent person who's never done anything to you, you have to be mentally disturbed to do that. And this peeping Tom, he hasn't left his house in 19 months. If he has, it's been for a very short time. He doesn't leave his home. Since he's been able to view into my home illegally, which I know was around a year ago at least, but it could be much longer. That's only when I realised that these people knew what I was doing in my home a year ago. But it could be much longer than that. And he has been putting me through abuse for 19 months every day. He has dedicated his life to it. And yeah, he hasn't left his house. I mean, that's really sick. That he's so addicted. These people are addicted to, they're addicted to abusing me. It's their favourite thing. They do it for their fun. Very sick people. So yeah, the landlord's paying these mentally disturbed people, using them like puppets to try and take my life. Because, I mean, yeah, you would have to find sick people to be capable of doing this. And the landlord's hit the jackpot with these people because they're definitely capable of taking a life. And I think he thought he was going to hit the jackpot off my death, but it's not going to happen. Neighbours in the next unit, they're fairly new. There was a woman living in that unit. She put me through cruel abuse for months and months and months. You can go back on my channel. She was absolutely addicted to stalking me and causing me harm. She was sending cigarette smoke into my house, and that's what the peeping Tom does too. He uses cigarette smoke. And he'll also do stuff around the building. When he knows I'm on my way home, he'll have things set up. So these ones next door to, they're involved. And there was a woman in there that was abusing my air with cigarette smoke. And that traumatized me so much. And because I have talked about that on this channel, this is why the landlord has got these people in here doing exactly the same thing. Anything I say on this channel to protect myself, the landlord does more. Anything I say to protect myself, they do more. These people are unbelievably cruel, and they are ruthless people. They will not stop. Even when I plead, they will not stop. Absolutely ruthless. And they're focused on that money. They want money. They're expecting money if I pass away. There's some kind of money in it for them. They're not getting it. If you think I'm going to lay down and die for people that sit there all day and do nothing else with their lives but stalk, to abuse an innocent person, you are very wrong, because that is never going to happen. So yeah, they've been abusing me with cigarette smoke because they know how traumatized I am from the person that was living in there before. She left suddenly. I think she knew that she was about to get caught. But she's definitely not getting away with what she put me through. Because you go back on this channel and look what that person put me through. I am extremely traumatized by these people tampering with my air, as anyone would be. It's been going on for 9 months and they're dedicated to it. And yeah, they're so smug because the Campbelltown police sit back and watch this happen on this illegal camera. My family members watch it happen. These people know I haven't got anyone. They know that I've been purposely isolated by my family and this community. And that's why they think they're going to get away with it, but you are not getting away with it. You are not. This is all happening for a reason. So they're just trying to disrupt my life as much as they can. They're trying to stop me from having any growth in my life. If they see me catch up on YouTube because I type out the words to these videos, so that they'll come up on the screen for people, the captions. And when I catch up with them, that's when they start putting me through more abuse to try and set me back again. So I have to create these videos to protect myself. They'll send dust into my house so that I have to keep vacuuming my house. And yeah, as I said, I've got a disability. I struggle to do that every day. I do. And they're doing that deliberately to make me have to do that work every day. And it's cruel. It's so cruel. And the cruelty of these people, it's shocking. It really is. I didn't know that there were so many people in the world that were capable of this kind of cruelty. But, I'm living in close proximity to these people, within meters. I'm living within meters of people that are very cruel and who are trying to take my life. And then there's the other neighbours around here who are also involved in this, who were putting me through abuse every single day, anything they could do to try and cause me psychological abuse when I was leaving the house or coming home. They would set up different things. They're watching me in my home. Sometimes I would just go to the letterbox and one of them would be there waiting by the time I got there to carry out psychological abuse. So there's a lot of neighbours involved in this. It's not just these three. These people are still viewing illegally into my home, and they are still watching me go through this extreme cruelty every day. And they're sitting back watching because they're expecting money. That's why they haven't intervened and they haven't tried to help me, because they've had plenty of chances to. How these people could sit back and watch an innocent person go through this, I have no idea. But they have done. There's no way I could. There's no way if it was the other way around and I was listening to a neighbour in the next unit going through cruelty that I could sit back and watch it. I would have to help them. I wouldn't even be viewing into someone's house illegally. Like, that to me is just, that's so wrong. That is, it's just disgusting to me that you are doing that. It really is. To an innocent person. And when the truth comes out about all this, and people are going to find out, this is going to be known. It is. And when people find out what you cruel people have done, they're going to be shocked. They're going to be shocked at the cruelty and what you sat back and watched happen. So I need urgent help right now because of just how smug these people are and relentless. They just never stop. 3.5 hours this morning I've been put through torture. I'm being tortured in my home. StGeorge Community Housing has turned my home into a torture chamber. And I'm purposely isolated. See, that's why there's no help. The cops, Campbelltown cops, were encouraging this up until a couple of days ago. Every single day for 19 months, the Campbelltown police encouraged this. And my family have sat back and watched this happen to me. I was good to my family members. I was probably the kindest family member out of all of them. And that's why they took advantage of me. Because they took my kindness for weakness. And they have sat back and watched this happen. So did these neighbours. I was good to them too. I was very kind to these neighbours and my family. And this is what they've done. All for money. These neighbours, though, they're also doing this for attention from the other abusers that are viewing into my home illegally. There's people that, sit there and wait of a morning for me to be abused by these people just to watch my reaction, to see if I'm going to die today because they've got some kind of money invested in this. These people are creating pollution every day on purpose. They're using transport as a weapon. Second I woke up this morning, before I even moved, there were abusive men driving around the town creating noise and pollution. And when I mention pollution on this channel, they'll start using motorbikes for a couple of days or a day, and then they'll go back to using other forms of transport again. All morning they've been sending stalkers past my house up past my home to stalk me illegally. Yeah, well, it is illegal because they're viewing into my house. These are people that are viewing into my house. They're stalking me around my movements in my house, the things I say and do in my house. And they're using transport as a weapon to deliberately create noise and pollution constantly. When I went out yesterday, I was stalked by hundreds of people in vehicles, all different kinds of vehicles, who track my car when I go out. And this is happening because of a justice system cover-up. For anyone who doesn't know, it's happening because of a justice and health system cover-up, where the justice system have paid the landlords, StGeorge Community Housing, to be a part of this, and they are paying these neighbours to do this. And they were all expecting a lump sum when I passed away. When I go out, when I go into different places to use their business, I'm put through abuse in those places too. They have people viewing into my home illegally, where they get ideas on how to abuse me. And it's extremely cruel. It is. The stuff these organisations do is very, very cruel. And it's based on the cruelty that I'm already going through in my house. So that's really all I've got to say today, but I want to thank you if you've listened to this video to the end, and I do need urgent help to create more public awareness around what's happening here in Campbelltown, New South Wales, and what I'm going through, because this has been going on too long and I don't deserve it. I don't deserve any of this. haven't done anything to these people. It's happening because of some abusive cops and some abusive members of this community, mostly abusive men and the women who support them. That's why this is happening. It's happening because they're covering up for a cop that has committed violent crimes against women, and he does that for his fun in his spare time. That's what they're covering up. They're also covering up for a pedophile that I reported in 2020 that they have done nothing about, because that is all a part of the psychological abuse. So the health system and the justice system, I have no protection from this. That's why I've had to create this video. I've got no protection from the law because the law's involved. They are who has started all this. This is why this is happening to me. So there's no one to turn to for help. Anyone I do turn to for help, the justice system makes sure that I don't get help by bribing that organisation or person, or they tell them lies. There was also a lot of slander spread on my name from these neighbours and my family members and the justice system to make sure nobody helped me, to make sure people were kept away from me. The health department, the health system, have held back vital information about my health that I should know. Now, they are keeping information from me about conditions that I should know about, and they're doing that in the hope that those conditions will just get worse before they are caught. Because those doctors that have lied and those nurses that were involved in the Campbelltown hospital incident that I went through in February, March of 2024, where I was put through extreme psychological abuse for 5 weeks straight, where they tried to cause me a health episode. They don't want to be held accountable. So when I go out too, there's a lot of people connected to the Campbelltown hospital people that put me through that abuse that are stalking me when I go out. There's also a lot of people stalking me that are connected to these organisations that are viewing into my home illegally and who have already done so much. They don't want to be held accountable, but they are going to be. They are, because I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. The landlord right now is either trying to force my death or they're trying to force me to run away from my home. I'm not running away from my home. I've done nothing wrong. And, I've got nowhere else to go. I'm not just going to run away from my home. You've got to be kidding me. I don't deserve this. I'm a good tenant here. I pay my rent. I look after this home. And I'm respectful to everyone around me. But these neighbours have been told to deliberately treat me unfairly in any way they can. And it's the same with my family members. It was all part of the isolation and the abuse that I've been put through, is for me to not have any help, any fairness. Information's being kept from me about my health by the health system. But when I go out, they'll send stalkers towards me to carry out abuse based on the conditions that I suspect I have got. And they'll carry out abuse as if to rub that fact, in, and as if they're saying to me, look, we know you've got this, but we're not going to tell you about it. That's what they do. Just to try and make me worry as well about these conditions. I know I've had a stroke. I know I have, because it might have only been a mini stroke, but I know I have, because I have really bad weakness down the left side of my body and I get exhausted really quick. So I know there's something more going on than they've told me, and there's probably a lot more than that. But they've kept that information from me. And no wonder I've had that, considering what I've been through from these people. And my family have stolen an inheritance from me, and they did that a few years back. And if they hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have had to go through any of this. I went through right up until now, it's 14 years of abuse I have been through due to the people that I have had in my life. And since 2017, my family have been putting me through psychological abuse with the justice system. So that's how far back this has been going on as far as the justice system of my family and the health system. They've all been involved in this since back then. They were making me feel isolated and they were treating me unfairly and they were carrying out psychological abuse back then. And it's been going on all that time. It's been going on since then, and they've stolen that inheritance, and that's why they're doing this. And I shouldn't have had to go through any of this. I shouldn't even be living here. This was all set up. Me being put here was set up. The neighbours here worked with my family. They gained information from my family to use against me. And all these people work together. They've all worked together. It's a big network of people. And I shouldn't even be going through any of this. My family is sitting back hoping I die so they can keep that inheritance, which is absolutely disgusting. I was a very good mother and grandmother to my grandchildren, and it's just sad that the children have to suffer because of what the greedy adults have done around them. It really is. But that's what's happening. I shouldn't be going through any of this. My family's stolen inheritance and they've stolen years from my life, and they're watching this happen. And I have every right to speak about it. I have every right to protect the air in my home. I have every right to do that. I have every right to speak up about the legacy that has been stolen from me by my family. They've stolen my life. I have every right to speak up about it because there's no justice system to help me. The only protection I have to protect my life and the air that I'm trying to breathe in my home is this channel. And I need urgent help. If there's anyone out there that can help me create public awareness around what I'm going through here, please help me, because these people are trying to kill me every day. And they are dedicated, absolutely dedicated. These neighbours are dedicated. The ones connected to my home are. And the landlord. The landlord is absolutely obsessed with trying to take my life. If you can help me in any other way legally here to have these people sent to jail where they belong, please help me. Please help me. You wouldn't only be helping me, you'd be helping your country. You'd be helping your children, because at least it'll guarantee, that nothing like this will ever happen again in the future. These people need to be caught. How many other people have the justice system, the health system, and landlords worked together to do this to in the past, just because they've committed crimes that they don't want the public finding out about? Not for any other reason. I'm an innocent person and I'm a good person. I do good things in my community. And I definitely don't deserve this. I'm definitely not giving up on my life. So, thank you for listening, and I will talk to you on the next one.